Welcome to the NoobTube YouTube channel for day 286. This was the 12th of June 2023, a Monday. So I am going to Tampa for 3 days this week for some medical appointments, and they basically consume most of my day because it's a long drive out there and a long drive back, and it's a few hours there. So that consumes most of my day. I did manage to work on books and did a little bit of other business, but that was pretty much it. That basically consumed all of my day for Monday, and will for Tuesday, and will for Thursday. So that is what I did for day 286. So continuing what I was discussing yesterday about my first assignment, I am remiss that I did not mention about just how beautiful of a country Germany really is. I mean, there's so many different castles and beautiful landscaping and scenery, and there's all kinds of wonderful fests. There always seems to be a festival going on. It's just a beautiful country. It really is, with good food and good bakeries, good beer. Really good highways, the Autobahn, and the Autobahn is completely free. Most of the other countries in Europe charge money. They charge tolls, and the tolls are really high, really, really high. And in Germany, they're free. So I really liked my time. I like the train system. They have very good public transportation in Germany, very good trains that can get you all over the place. It's not too expensive. So it's a very good place to be. And gasoline is more expensive. Gasoline is very expensive. It's taxed very heavily, but public transportation is readily available. They had the taxis when I was there. They were all Mercedes-Benz taxis. They were all in really good condition. The Germans took really good. Taxi drivers were really proud people, and they took exceptional care of their vehicles. And I also rented a car when I was there a couple of times in Germany, for an extended period of time. And I drove an Opel, and the Opel was seemed like a less expensive Mercedes, but it ran fantastic. The German engineering is amazing. It truly is. So like I said, I can't go on. I can't say enough about the castles and historical places and the old cobblestone sidewalks and shops and things like that. If you're looking for stuff where you're looking for these places that are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're not going to find that in Germany. A lot of the places, are Monday through Friday, a little bit on Saturday, and then everything is closed on Sunday. Most of the stuff, at least, might have changed a little bit, but I doubt it. The Germans are really this is their culture. And they have one Saturday where they stay open later, like maybe, later toward the early evening. But mostly, it's 5 days and then a little bit on Saturday. So you need to get your grocery shopping and, get all your shopping done. Otherwise, really, sometimes the only places to get stuff is at the gas station, little markets and all that. That's where you would go if you needed to buy something and get it. So that was my Germany experience. I had 3 separate tours in Germany. It's like Germany States, Germany States, Germany States. And, I wish I kind of had a tour in Korea, someplace different, because it was like Germany and Korea were the 2 biggest army places. But I just got lucky, and they just kept sending me back to Germany. One time I re-enlisted for Germany, but, 2 out of the 3 were luck of the draw. So that's the way it is in the Army. It's like the computer decides your fate. And some people, I have heard stories, and I believe I met some people that did an exceptionally long period of time. But I haven't personally met anybody who's done a full 20 years at the same post. But I have met people who've done like 9, 10 years at the same post, never PCS, never, PCS is permanent change of station. They never, really got to go anywhere because their name wasn't picked, or they just, just stayed in the same unit. So when you're overseas in an overseas location, you have a finite period of time. Your tour is either 24 months or 36 months, depending on the location where it's at and hardship and all that. And you have what's called a DEROS, which is a date eligible for return from overseas. So everybody has a DEROS date, and people do look forward to moving. It's you've been overseas and you're looking forward to coming home, but there is no DEROS when you're in CONUS place. You could be stuck there for years, but some people, they go home for a year and then they get, after a year, then they're there for at least a year, and then they come back down on orders again. Sometimes either they re-enlist for it, or the computer selects them, or some other reasons. They have a badly needed skill needed overseas. So that's the same way. And it works the same way in Alaska, Hawaii. Those locations, Alaska, Hawaii, have a similar DEROS state. I think it might be, at least when I was in, it was like 48 months or something like that. I think that it's even longer than a traditional overseas assignment, because it's considered to be overseas, but it's not really. It's in the United States. So yeah. So that was my Germany tours. And then after Germany, I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 101st Airborne Division. I was in the 101st Personnel Services Battalion. And I think it was a company when I first joined, and it became a battalion later on. That was also strange. But 101st PSB, and I was in enlisted promotions, is where I worked at. And I had to go to air assault school. And air assault is jumping out of perfectly good helicopters, and I am terrified of heights. But like every able-bodied person has to go through air assault school and complete that. So let's just say it took a lot of attempts to get, because you have to get into air assault school, you got to pass what's called 0 day, and there's these obstacles, and some of them are height obstacles, and I just couldn't do it. But I had really good NCOs, really good sergeants that were over me as a specialist, as a junior soldier, and they helped me. They helped assist me, get over my fear of heights. We went out, we practiced on the 0 day course, and eventually I did overcome that. And jumping out of that helicopter was like the scariest thing I ever did. It's like it's amazing, but overcoming that was a big thing. I'm glad I did it, but I don't ever want to do that again. That's not how I like roller coasters, and I don't mind being on airplanes and things like that. That's not the fear of heights. I'm more afraid of like stumbling, down and, walking off of a chopper or walking off of a tower. Those are rappelling off of a tower. Those are pretty scary things. So I got my air assault wings, and that was a difficult assignment in the beginning. And once I got those air assault wings, it did a lot for my confidence. It helped me out, helped me overcome a lot of things, and I went from not doing so good to being a good soldier. So it was like a good transition, getting over that, because they need people in the 101st to be air assault qualified. The commanding officer gets it's like a bragging right or something. What percentage of soldiers in your unit are air assault qualified, and they need to have a certain percentage of people air assault qualified. They said if you don't have a medical reason why you shouldn't be air assault qualified, then you need to go to air assault school, and they make your life kind of miserable until you do. You have to do special physical training. So in the morning The people who were not air assault qualified would have to do more extensive physical training. So your life gets much, much better once you complete that training. Um, so, most of the time in the Army, like for airborne, you volunteer for that. They don't make you go to airborne school. At least I don't think they do. I never heard of anybody being forced to go to airborne school. But air assault school, yes. If you get assigned to the 101st, air assault, the 101st Airborne Division air assault, they want you to go to air assault school. And really, they're going to do everything they can to make you do that. So just be ready. And it's not so bad. One of the life lessons that I learned and taking away from all of that is, I really didn't want to do that. I don't like being forced into doing something that I don't want to do, especially that I'm really scared to do. But that's one of the beautiful things about the military is it really forces you to get out of your comfort zone, forces you to put yourself in a situation where you can't do this on your own. You need help from other people in order to do it. But once you do it, you feel so much better about yourself, and you earn, you have those achievements and you have those things, and nobody can take that away from you. So um, Fort Campbell was also a great assignment. I really loved the area. Most of Fort Campbell is actually in Tennessee, but the post office is in Kentucky. My daughter, I had my second assignment and my very last assignment in the Army were Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And my youngest daughter was born, um, at the hospital at Fort Campbell, and she's got a Tennessee birth certificate because the hospital is located in Tennessee, just a few blocks from the actual where the state line goes right through the base. But again, the base is actually the post office is in Kentucky, and the base or the hospital is in Tennessee. So she's got a Tennessee birth certificate. She was born in the state of Tennessee officially. So, for what that's worth, some useless knowledge trivia for you. But I'm glad it was a great experience. My wife had both of our two children, and I have three children, but the two youngest children were born both in Army bases and didn't cost anything. When you're on active duty, you don't pay anything for active duty family member health care. It's completely free. So it costs nothing to have those babies, and they provided a really nice both occasions they have provided a nice steak dinner for her. One of the nights that she was there, and so the other child was born in Fort Stewart, Georgia. So I'll talk more about that on another day. But that was my Fort Campbell experience, and I also was a soldier living in the barracks. So I didn't want to the rooms that they have in the States for some reason back when I was in, they didn't have much. You didn't have much room to yourself. So I had gotten a trailer, living in a trailer off post at my own expense without getting any extra allowances from the military. So that was a very interesting experience living in a trailer home. But it was fine. Had complete privacy, could come and go as I please. Wasn't too far away from the base. But humble beginnings, humble start of my journey. So that's basically it. And I'm grateful for all those experiences, and I'm grateful for the NCOs that really helped me out. Some really good non-commissioned officers, some of the best, just the best NCOs that were there at that assignment. It was very interesting. Like the best NCOs I ever had were at Fort Campbell during my second assignment, and some of the worst NCOs that I've had came at the last assignment. I'll talk more about that on a different day. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Let me know your comments and thoughts, and I will talk to you tomorrow.